Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of CBT Now. The used car market is bustling with activity this spring, and car dealers must make sure their pre-owned operational strategies align with current market conditions, which can be tricky at times. Joining us now in the studio is John Ellis, automotive industry expert, economist, and serial entrepreneur, to discuss the latest shifts in the used car market, including the current trends in sales and inventory, and we're going to talk a little bit about EVs. So, John, thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Yeah, Jim, excited to be here in person for once. Love the studio. Excited to talk about this topic because it is just tip of the spear right now.
Yeah, no question about it. Every dealer is thinking about the used car market, which has been like a roller coaster over the last 12 or 18 months, where you figure, my inventory, just actually went up in value sitting there on the lot. And then a week later, it just went down in value, and now you went from having a pile of plus category, and then all of a sudden you turn around, I got 100,000 in water sitting out there. You know what I mean? That's how crazy the market's been.
It's volatile.
So I want to discuss the used car market with you. So for our viewers that are tuning in, as I said, this is at the forefront. Cox just released data showing that used car sales are up 13.5% month over month, an average supply of 44 days. How will these conditions affect vehicle acquisitions for dealers?
So yeah, the first half of this year, especially the first couple of months, have been strong for used cars, and we're coming off really a slow Q4. Many of our dealers have felt a lot of the pain you just discussed. Sometime in late August, early September, valuations of their inventory on lot just tanking. So coming into the first of the year, it's been really fun, right?
Yeah.
Dealers are selling inventory, the used car market's strong, but what's that doing to our day supply?
Right.
We forget that even though we're up a little bit in day supply over prior years, we're nowhere near 2019 levels, and we're going to fight that battle until 2027, according to Black Book.
Yeah.
And that's when we start crawling out of the 8 million new cars that were never built, and the lease returns that are just not coming in.
I know.
So those numbers that Cox quoted, albeit they're really exciting, and we're living on that now, it's going to make the situation even tighter moving into the rest of the year.
Talk to me about the used EVs and the prices of they've fallen considerably. When Hertz dumped a whole bunch of Teslas out there and sold them for $15,000 to $20,000 a piece, and that woke up a lot of people and said, whoa, what is the deal here on the used car market for EVs? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's a little bifurcated, right? Because Hertz dumping cars makes you want to run from them.
Right.
But the price is great.
Exactly.
So
you might want to pick one up for your kid or something.
So, we have a company, we study that well. It was unfortunate that Hertz wasn't able to take advantage of that situation, but since they weren't, there's a ton of inventory that's got a residual value that's really strong. So the price point's not, it's in the affordability range, it's not too expensive.
Sure.
Our conclusion is that we're going to, helping dealers understand EVs, evaluate them, appraise them, sell them, and then service them, and then dispose of them as possible. There's places to get rid of them if you don't want as many as you have. It could be a nice way to fill that gap we just spoke about in the ICE engine used car market. Because as you know, Jim, affordability is driving demand in the first half of this year, not price point. And that's why Cox Automotive said year over year, new cars are going to probably be flat. And you're thinking, as a dealer, wait, incentives are up. They're pulling back on rates with these OEM incentives. Traditional KPIs tell us we're going to have a heyday for new cars.
Right.
It's affordability that's the wall we're running into, and EVs may help dealers find a fit.
Yeah, for sure. If EVs are not selling as much as we'd like them to on the new car side, why do we think they'll sell on the used car side?
I think two reasons. One is the lion's share of used EVs are Teslas, and the infrastructure is there to support them.
Right.
Unfortunately for the new car manufacturers, they put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Tesla was smart and put the horse before the cart.
Right.
The ownership experience is what drives EV sales.
Yeah.
And not being able to charge as frequently or as conveniently as you want is the only thing pulling them back a little bit. But they're making big strides, so it's exciting to watch them. Jim Farley's out there talking to dealers every day. Smart move.
Yeah.
I do think that Teslas will help drive adoption for traditional OEMs.
Yeah, yeah. How long before you think the country will be comfortable and at mass to be able to or not to be able to, but really want EVs?
I would say probably somewhere around 27 and 30, 2027 to 2030.
Yeah.
We have big hopes, but infrastructure has to step up.
Any suggestions for dealers that are sitting down right now with a 120-day supply of EVs?
Yeah, education. So your staff is uncomfortable if you're aging inventory, because there are retailers that are selling a ton.
That's right.
I can name a few that were naysayers that are big Chevy dealers that are now making tons of profit and selling volumes because they changed their paradigm.
Yeah.
And so one of our companies, BEV Everything, is working with big dealer groups to say, OEMs are doing a fantastic job of training you on the product,
right?
But now we need to train the staff on how to have the conversation.
That's right.
And qualify a customer.
That's
Make
right.
sure they're right, and then if they are, sell them the attributes and then the ownership experience.
Sure.
This is how you own one. Call me if you need help.
Yeah.
Eventually, a few of them get off the floor, profits are made, customers are happy, then they start rolling faster and faster.
So what do you see down the road? Looking down the road a little bit, if we zoom out, what do you see for ending Q1 and of course going into Q2 and the summer months, which is usually always big selling months for dealers? You think they're going to fare well, or what do you think that we're looking at?
So we talk about this a lot, and we do a lot of research on this. We look back and we look forward. We look at the government. We look at monetary policy. We look at interest rates. We look at what they're saying they're going to do, and everything that so far is leading us to a really strong tax season that'll be a little bit more elongated than before because we're behind in refunds. Now, 2 weeks ago we were 25% behind. Last week we were only 13% behind. What I'm telling our clients is that means the government's working really hard to accelerate. Could see a peak this week and next. Catch-up peak, right? And then again, into late March, early April to see those refunds really fueling the fire. At that point, we'll just watch for a little bit of pivot, because as demand slows, values will slow. You don't want to be over leveraged.
That's right.
Right? You want to make sure you're leveraged to sales rate, and that's what we do at we have a program that'll match it automatically. And then finally, what we think will happen, the Feds are watching unemployment. Unemployment right now is around 3.2 to 3.4%. They were hoping 4.1. And I know your audience is going, hoping, what do you mean? But that means they're controlling the economy. And so because of that, the early indicators of 3 or 4 rate pullbacks are probably looking more like 1 or 2. And then not in August and June, but maybe in August and September. That's good news for us, because remember, if we have a demand-based, needs-based demand in the first half because of tax season, and then a want-based demand in the second half, and interest rates pull back, late model used inventory will become attractive again. Right now, late model is not attractive, which is why the $20,000 to $30,000 price point is flying off the shelves. The 40 and 50 is just slower to buy because rates are so high. And they cannibalize the new. So if you have a $50,000 used car and a new car with rates bought by the OEM back down, probably selling the new. And that's what we're cautioning our dealers. Just watch that in the first half, and if rates pull back in the second half, then your late model used car will become more attractive again.
No question about it.
But we have to watch it every month. You cannot forecast months and months. To your point, what happened in September and October last year fooled everybody, even the biggest industry houses, because the UAW strike, I mean, it finished like that. No one expected that. And because they really built up inventory and anticipating a long strike, used cars tanked for about a month or two in a time when they normally don't tank like that. And dealers took big losses. So we're going to watch it every week, every month. If anybody needs any help, they can reach out.
And of course, with dealers coming off of incredible the last 3-4 years, they have a Brinks truck pulling up to their front door every day, and it's been a great run. You know? How those days are probably behind us, right?
Way behind us. So what we teach is, my good friends Brian Kramer, you probably know him, David Longwell. We all talk about this and agree. Markets determine front end gross. You can't control interest rates. You can't control the value of the dollar. You can't control the economy as a dealer. But you can control is departmental growth. And so we're focused on growing dealers' departmental growth. There's still a growth opportunity in the market. It's just not going to be the way we did it the last 3 years. You have to tighten up your operations. It's where Agile Auto comes in to really make sure that there are no leaks in the boat, and then you can all are rowing in the same direction.
Any final thoughts for our audience, for our dealer and managers out there that are listening, that your take on what's ahead?
I think the biggest thing to remember is what we did before, even pre-COVID, so 2019, is not all we need to get where we want to go now, meaning automotive and non-automotive. I've met a lot of dealers who say, John, I watch it now and I didn't before. The economy, the environment, the money supply, consumer confidence, all the things that impact their business every day, and not just traditional. And if they keep an eye on that and watch it weekly, if not at least monthly, do an analysis with their leadership team to say, what's going on in our market? What's going on in the supply, and how do I run our business more efficiently? oh, we're going to be okay, but you can't just run it with gut anymore.
Yeah.
The market's, it tricks you. It's quick and it fools you, and we haven't seen anything like that. I can't remember in my 55 years ever.
Yeah.
Right? The way, maybe 2008, 2009, but we kind of knew that what was coming there.
Yeah.
When the government got involved and we shut down the world for almost 2 years,
I know.
we've experienced things that we've never seen before.
Oh my God.
But I want to say one last positive note is I'm excited about the future of automotive for two reasons. One is electric vehicles, and we've taught the OEMs and the industry that dealers are the most important leg in that stool.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And they're learning. That's why Jim Farley's out there doing that.
On a listening tour.
Yeah, because he knows that I can't do it without him.
That's right.
And the second thing is that the economy and the market are coming back.
Yeah.
And it's exciting times ahead. We just don't want to be inefficient when it comes back. We want to be ready to run with it.
That's right. That's right. John Ellis, serial automotive entrepreneur, former Cox Automotive executive. There's a company that everybody knows. And this is the guy that you want to listen to. He's got his hand on the pulse of the automotive industry. And thank you so much for coming in.
Jim, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Great.